Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. It is quite chilly here in the Catskills, Monday, April 26th, but to be expected. We moved here January 28th, 2019. That was a rough winter. It was freezing all the way up until May. In fact, last year, it snowed in May. I have it here on tape. It was incredible. I woke up May 5th or something, and there was snow. So to be expected. Whatever. The spring is coming, and I can't wait. Spring and summer and all that. So the top podcast, number one podcast, well, of course, is Joe Rogan. But I tell you what, someone who is perhaps just as hot, and who knows, will he surpass Joe Rogan? Who knows? I'm telling you, the hottest comedian, hottest podcaster is Tim Dillon. And I didn't particularly like him when I first heard about him. Of course, I first saw him a few years back on Joe Rogan. He's been on Rogan, I think, six, 7 times, kind of a regular. And he was kind of a little bit right wingish, a comedian he kind of liked Trump. I know that. He liked to bust his balls, but there was something about him. I was like, I don't know. But man, last night, was this tape yesterday? Yeah, one day ago, Jordan Peterson. I almost passed this up, and I'm telling you, one of the most interesting podcasts. It's only an hour long. I've heard in quite some time, and I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. Talk about Jordan Peterson, whose views have been misrepresented and misconstrued. People refer to him as an alt-right, and he absolutely is not. He's very complicated. I'm a Democrat progressive, and I'm a huge Jordan Peterson fan. I mean, I have 2 of his books. Number 1, Maps of Meaning, and the 12, I forget the name, but the 12 rules, and now he has something, 12 more rules or something. But Jordan Peterson is a very interesting guy, someone who suffered terribly. He had a Xanax addiction, and I did as well. In 2014, I almost died. It almost did me in. I'm not going to get into it here. I've done several videos, but Xanax almost killed me. And it was a fucking bitch to quit. I mean, the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh, sorry about that. I dropped my... it's very windy here. This is great. I'm actually sort of dump some of this. Okay. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm going to put the whole podcast in the comments section. But Tim Dillon is so talented. And I'll tell you what, when you know somebody's really good is when the commercials are as good as the content itself. They're that entertaining. The way he reads copy is brilliant. You know what I think of? Howard Stern. Howard Stern, we all loved the commercials when Howard Stern was doing them because he was so good. They were so entertaining. Remember his first couple sponsors? Big Al, big fat porky Al. That was funnier than the show, or just as funny. How about Vincent? Howard was a master. So I'm telling you, Tim Dillon has that. I'm going to show you something first, but it's Tim Dillon Show number 249. I know he's been taken off of certain platforms and brought YouTube, and in fact, pulled some of his stuff. So it's kind of tough, and he talks about it. But let me just show you this.
What do you want to accomplish today? It's a great question. I think, well, you're a clinical psychologist. So I think for my own life, it's important that I selfishly use this a little bit to get advice from you personally, which I think can help other people as well. Yes. I have the new book here, which is called Beyond Order, which I love the title of that, 12 More Rules for Life, which was written, I know a good chunk of this was written before your ordeal, which we can talk about too.
To get into it, let me you look at Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon, there he is. He's gay. Not that it really matters, but he's like a bro guy. He's like a big, fat, and he talks like this. He's so fucking, like, toxic male, if you will. Like, there's no way, if you didn't know him, boy, everything's blowing around. Here's my Netflix. You would bet your life that he's not gay. Like, it's just totally breaks the stereotype. He's like so fucking bro, real intelligent. But listen to this. If you haven't I'm sure everyone has heard of Tim Dillon, but here we go.
Just it's so funny on the book. It says the New York Times has called you the most influential public intellectual in the Western world, which is undoubtedly true. It's a tremendous amount of pressure. And do you ever say to yourself, like, do you ever look at the Western world and go, you know what? I don't want to be the most influential public intellectual. I don't want to be responsible.
They get into some really heavy, serious shit, and he's always he's injecting humor throughout. Towards the end of the interview, Jordan Peterson talks about the 100 greatest books, or the most influential books that he's read that have changed his life and have kind of molded and formed his sort of own philosophy. And he talked about Dostoevsky and how the depth of Dostoevsky's philosophy, and they're actually brilliant thrillers. And he went on and on. And Tim Dillon goes, "Hey, yeah, kind of like Chelsea Handler." It was a joke, and he goes, Jordan Peterson's like all serious, like, "Chelsea Handler? No, I've not heard of Chelsea Handler. I have to look into it." And that's how it ended. It's like it went boom. All right, so here we go, and I'm going to play a little bit of one of the commercials so you see what I mean.
Responsible in any way for what's going on. I would say I vary in that opinion, moment to moment, every day. I'm in an extremely fortunate position. But
this is good.
It's also a strange position.
I'm not going to
It isn't
play
exactly
the whole.
clear to me how to conceptualize it or how to move forward in the position that I'm in. So I'm actively working that through. Do you like fame? Like, do you like the adulation of people? Because you've helped a tremendous amount of people, and you're very well known. That also comes with, obviously, a lot of negatives. But
Let me just
there's
pause
a
it.
ton of
So
positives.
Jordan has a podcast now that used to, starting 5-6 years ago, he just had his YouTube channel and he would tape his lectures. And now, after he got out of the hospital, now he's back. He has a podcast, does 2 or 3 a week, and I'm starting to watch him. I started yesterday. Like, he's so good. He's got like 3.6 million subscribers. Only Joe Rogan has more than him. Jordan Peterson. He is big influence on me. And what's interesting about, he kind of looks thin here. There's Jordan. He's not looking so good. He actually, a couple of years ago, just very distinguished looking. He used to always wear a beard and just very handsome. So here's a guy who, if you looked at him and just looking at him from the outside, you'd say, here's a guy who's got his shit together. Super smart guy, professor, very handsome, just got the way about him, his confidence, his intelligence, the wisdom. Like, there's a guy who's got the fucking world wrapped around his little finger. Not true. Like, Jordan is a very fucked up guy, and that humanizes him, So talks about his addiction issues. He's got, with Xanax and all that. He's had a history of depression. He's got some serious health issues, autoimmune stuff. So he's not, he's fucked up just like the rest of us. And let me continue on.
To it, have you grown to like them, to like the idea of being famous? Well, I find it very difficult to accustom myself to. It happened to me quite late in life, and so it's still very strange for me to.
Jordan Peterson's older than me. I think he's 58. He's a couple of years older than me. And he got famous like 5 years ago, like big time famous. So that's weird for a guy in his 50s to be just a lowly professor. He had maybe written one book, Maps of Meaning, and then this huge star selling out auditoriums, just giving speeches.
Walk down the street and be recognized continually. Some of it's extremely positive. It's as if I'm always among friends and well-wishers.
Yeah, very good.
I mean, you wouldn't get that impression if you looked at my reputation online, let's say, because there's a disproportionate number of journalists who have taken a dislike to me.
The left.
But when I'm
It is weird the left does not like him. Like they say he's alt-right and all that. Like, he hates PC, of course. For some reason, they like to tag him with that alt-right stuff. He's not. He's basically a progressive. He really is. Traditionalist in a certain sense. He's very religious, too. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love this guy, Jordan Peterson. I have 2 of his books, and I haven't read them, but they're good. I started the 12 Rules, and I'm like, what chapter in? It's real good stuff. I just have to get into it again. But let me continue on. Listen, I'm almost 10 minutes. I'm not going to play a lot of this. I'll tell you what. Let me see if I could find that commercial to let you, so you can see what I mean about how good Tim is with commercials. Listen to this.
That's the way a doctor would react. You know, doc, my penis doesn't get hard. And he'd go, yeah, I thought so. Like, what? Like, a doctor would just be like, all right.
It's a commercial. Like, right in the middle of it. But.
That's all it would be. But it's better to do it online. My friend,
see how relaxed he is?
Started taking Blue Chew religiously. And
he's a professional broadcaster too. The way he reads copy, like Howard Stern is great at that. Howard Stern has an incredible voice, and he reads copy very well, right? The emphasis and accents on the right words. Perfect reader. I majored in journalism, and I took broadcast journalism, all that stuff. So I know a little about what I'm talking about. But let me just continue on.
He started performing much better in bed.
We're talking about
Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct. Go to BlueChew.com, promo code TD to receive your first month free. BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. It's an online counseling service.
He's excellent.
Really good. Communicate with a counselor in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, not self-help. Broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas.
That's
it's
a professional
available to clients
right there.
worldwide. Log into your account anytime, send a message to your counselor, timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule a weekly video and or phone sessions. You won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to put the whole thing in the comment section. Check it out. I listened to it twice. Really, really impressed. Okay, Tim Dillon, amazing. I'm telling you, another Howard Stern, I swear. And, Jordan Peterson. What can you say about Jordan? Okay, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here in Tabor Talk.